Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to saute our chicken breasts. We've seasoned them. We've got our thigh in there as well. And the process of saute means to jump. Now we want to control our heat, we want to control our pans so that we're not overheating everything that's in there. We want a nice even heat all the way around. So we want to check those flames and make sure they're not too high. And then another thing we want to keep in mind at our saute stations is we want to look at a way to keep more pans hot, because the idea of a saute station is everything is a la minute. So we want to be able, when we finish pans, go ahead and add more. Go ahead and get in there, Dave. You're all right. And then we look at our stations themselves. We want to take a look at product that we have. So if we've meased everything out, in this case here we have mushrooms, butter, chives, shallots, garlic, red peppers, some leeks, some butter. Looks like we have a little demi over here and a little bit of cream. We also have some white wine. And then we should have canola oil over there as well. Okay, so what happens if we add too much oil, guys?
Pan fry it.
Okay, it's no longer saute, it becomes pan fried. And what are we looking for when we saute on the one side there?
Golden color. Nice golden color.
A nice golden color, right? So we're going to walk around there, Dave. Brian, take a look at that. Okay, we have a nice golden color on our thigh, on our breast. Okay. Step back over here. Now what happens if we put too much in the pans?
Steam it.
It'll steam it, right? We'll lose our temperature. Okay, we won't be able to control it as well. Okay, so we have multiple pans here that we can utilize for all of this. Now John, you want to keep it in one place for a while? You don't want to keep moving it? Okay. The reason being is if you're moving it, you're not making that contact. You can peek, but don't move it around.
Here, guys, I'm gonna way over there. Or actually, why don't I bring that over here? You can. I don't think it really matters.
So in this pan, we're sauteing corned potatoes. We have a little bit of clarified butter in there. The potatoes were actually sous vide blanched at 170 degrees for 20 minutes. You'll notice the shape of them has actually been held nicely because we sous vide them. As opposed to just let them be in a simmering water bath. And so because they held their shape really well, they're going to cook up nicer in the pan and get a nice golden color for us. Okay.
But you don't want to.
Okay, so these potatoes here are what we saw in the saute pan over there. These were, zoom out here, cooked in our immersion circulator in a vacuum bag at 170 degrees for 20 minutes. The texture on these is very firm, but not so firm that it's not inedible. The idea behind it is that when we go to the saute pan, let's walk over here, and we are able to cook these evenly now by constantly moving them like this which, by the way, meets the saute criteria to jump. Okay, we're going to get these nicely toasted golden brown on the outside. Okay, so we're still working on our chicken. We're getting it brown. One of the lessons that we just learned was that if you try to do this where the pan is cold, we had a couple chicken legs down there that have actually lost their skin. They don't have the color. What happened was the oil was put in, chicken was put in, the pan was not hot enough to go in. So it's really important that you make sure the pan is up to temperature with the oil at that just smoking point. Now when we do the veal medallions, guys, listen up. When we do the veal medallions, when that oil hits that just smoking point, we're going to remove the oil, then we're going to add the veal. Okay? Does everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Okay? That's important to remember. We're not going to use oil in the pan. We're going to use the oil to heat up the pan, remove the oil, add the seasoned veal medallion at that point in time, which is different when we did the chicken. The chicken has chicken fat on it and skin on it, and we want that oil in there to help crisp up that skin. There is no skin or fat like that on the veal medallion. It's a straight protein. And I want to actually leave behind a small amount of the veal in that pan when I lift it up off there and get the nice color I want. That creates a nice fond in the pan that when we deglaze with our wine and we have our butter and shallots in there, that'll go right into our sauce. So we've got some nice color on our chicken here. We have our thighs and our wings.
That's picked right up. That came right off.
So if we look at those potatoes now, they're starting to pick up a nice color. They haven't lost their shape. They're not falling apart on us. And that's what we're looking for when we do a sauteed tournée potato. If you look real closely there, how nice and evenly they're cooking. That's what we want. Okay. So one of the things we got to watch for though is our temperature. If we get too hot, look what happens to the oil. We're getting too hot and we're actually creating flavors in that pan that we don't want. Okay. We want to make sure that we control our temperature, maintain our heat, and cook evenly. So it's very important that we take a look underneath and see how high our flame is. This one looks okay, but just keep an eye on it and watch your cooking, okay? Want to make sure that all of these, we take a look at that flame. One of the things that make a big mistake in a saute station is not to be vigilant about watching how high that flame is getting. Oftentimes the burner gets knocked or somebody hits the gas and then it turns it up. Okay, so we have our finished potatoes, our finished tournée potatoes. Nice color. They've been seasoned with some fresh herb in there. Looks like some fresh thyme. And you can really get the aroma of it, but also what's really nice again is the color and the shape that they were held up into.
I'm hoping.
Okay, so we'll test it out here. We'll see. Perfect. Outside was really crunchy, inside was soft and tender. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. So that would be our finished product for the tournée potatoes.
Okay.
So one of the things you got to learn to do is be a lot more gentle with your food. Okay, understand that if you do it right, you don't have to peel and scrape it off the pan. Temperature control will help that a lot. Don't move the chicken once you have it in place. Keep it where it's at once it goes into the pan. And if you have a good temperature in that pan, it's not going to stick. And when it reaches that right color, it'll peel right off there nicely. Okay? If you look at this pan, the only place you should see any of that fond happen will be directly underneath those breasts. The outside of this pan here, if you maintain that heat, and let's just take a look underneath here. Let's see, we're not bad. Then even a little bit more, okay? And just watch that and get the nice color on it, okay? Control your heat. What's going on here though is that, you see the back side of that pan? We're burning back there.
Getting too hot.
Getting too hot, okay? We've got to maintain and watch what's going on, okay? This shouldn't happen back here, okay? It should look clean like this pan does here, okay? And that's hard to do, it's a challenge, but that's the goal that you want to get at, okay? Let's take a look now, looking good, okay? Gently peel it back and put it over, okay? Now, resist a lot of things, but be very careful. Set it back up and you're good to go, okay? But because you've maintained the control of your heat, you don't have burning going on back here, you don't have any burning going on here. Okay, that's exactly the way we want it to go. Okay, so these guys have a little bit of a challenge here. They've taken the thighs and they've stuffed it with smoked Canadian bacon that we cured and smoked here at school, and put a piece of cheese in there and rolled and tied them. So they're going to have to be really gentle going into that pan, because what's going to happen is that cheese is going to melt out. Okay, so you're going to have to be very careful and gentle with it so that you don't get cheese outside that pan and then it creates a different type of pond on there. Okay, so we don't want to overload the pan, right? Okay. And we need to really watch that temperature, okay? See a lot of smoking going on, that's probably going to tell you something, okay? We want the heat. Just need to pay attention to how high our flame is. And have a nice sear going on, okay? Again, over here, you've got to be very careful with this so you get a nice even brown without losing all that heat. Okay? That's going to be a challenge. But we've got, probably a good amount of oil in there. We're just going to have to turn it only when it's ready. Because every time you move that, it loosens it up. Okay? It's going to change it on you. So, you had another one here earlier where the pan really got messed up, but look how nice that is.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, that's a lot better. Nice even on the outside, even over here, and not a lot of stuff going on around that pan. Just keep control of that and watch that, okay? We don't want that burned stuff in the pan because that leaves behind a bitter flavor. We don't want to keep turning stuff because every time we turn it, we're actually not allowing it to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. Looks good. Nice even color on there. Okay. Not moving around, controlling the heat. Alright. You're still going to get your nice bond in the pan that you want, but you're not going to get that burning going on when the pan's too hot. So this looks great.
And then, how long would you go on the bottom?
Actually, right now, because we're going to finish them in the oven, I'd pull them from here, put them on our rack, and get ready to shoot them in the oven.
Okay.
Because you're going to want to turn these so that you're going to brown them evenly all the way around, right?
Yeah.
Now, something, guys, listen up. Something just happened over here that you should be aware of. Whenever you work a saute station, be aware that something's going to spit back at you and burn you in the face. Water and oil happens all the time. If you're maintaining heat control and watching that, it won't happen as often, but be aware that it will occur. So it is a real challenge to get them up there, but to get them browned evenly, that's what you're going to have to do. And again, though, what's going on here is nice, is that you're not losing that control of your heat, so you don't have burning going on in your pan. It's got a nice color to it yet still, and yet you're going to leave behind nice bond when you're done.
So 143 is where the white side and the yolk don't. So that's soft boiled. I was more like I wouldn't be doing this. That guard comes right on. Man, are we gonna eat soon? Daddy in his new pair of shoes. I don't know, people say that sometimes.
People say that.
Thought it was a TV show once. Thought it was cool. So I got some clarified butter if anyone's gonna want that for cooking, drinking. Hey Chef, Dave's gonna drink all this Larry for us.
Sure.
He's what? Oh, really?
Where's John Butter Dave?
Where is Ross?
Yeah, by the way, Willie, you gotta get a little closer on the beard there.
Get it out. Get it
Okay.
out.
I talked to the first year students about it, and I'm gonna say, I will say that when I looked around the room last night at all the Madison chefs, I didn't see anybody with a big burly beard on, but I know I've seen some Facebook pictures of them around town, and I'm telling you right now, it's a huge risk. Finding a black curly in your food is not cool.
Here's the question. At first I thought they were
And a red or brown one too.
I thought they were just cracked. I thought they were gonna put back. Somebody, not us more than likely, because we haven't eaten yet. Somebody. Nice to have some.
I know. I can take my lands and my freedom. Yeah.
I thought they would be quick ones. Can't.
It is and it isn't.
The little girl, her dad is a twin, and she's meeting his twin for the first time. So she looks at her dad and she looks at his brother, and she's like, so confused.
We're not talking about
So you know those probably can stay in the pan, go right in the oven.
What's that?
Those-
Oh yeah, it's still in there.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're going to deglaze them when they come out. Okay.
Oh, this smells great.
So we're on the last of the chickens. So the full pans, let's get in the oven. The ones that aren't full yet, we'll get the other stuff on there that Benjamin has to finish.
You need legs, you need breasts. Oh, sorry.
And as soon as all the chicken's in the oven, let's get our pan sauces done. And what I want you to do
And that's the.
is running out of juice on the video here. As soon as you're
I'm gonna. I'll pull.
Hey, keep it up the middle.
no, I'm going to work working on
Hey, Jeff, that's top left.
Oh yeah.
Finally, another one.
Okay, so is all our chicken in?
Oh, I see how it is. Try it, hog and all. As usual.
Alright, so to get in order to get that fond off those pans, you gotta rewarm them back up. Same amount of heat though, don't overdo it. And then you're gonna add your other ingredients.